The following podcast will contain spoilers, tangents, hot takes, and excessive foul language. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, horror fans, and welcome to episode 353 of Frightmares. I'm your host, Austin Proctor, and joining me today for 2024's Longlegs is Cory Johnson.
Heyo, everybody. I was going to do a Nick Cage impression, but I can't even.
Yeah, which one do you pick to do?
Oh, it was impossible.
Yeah.
This was like somebody finally let Nick Cage have the internet and let him look at the memes of himself. Like, it feels like he's just now becoming self-aware of what a meme he actually is.
All right, so here's the best one I can do, okay? let me get into character here. All right, it's from Mandy, okay? So he's like, knock, knock. You got to say who's
there?
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada who?
Eric Estrada from Chips. That's the whole thing he does in Mandy. Like, what?
How did I forget that part of Mandy?
It is ingrained in my brain. Oh my God. And it's not even a good Nick Cage. So, Longlegs. Oh boy. Gonna be a lot of people out there. Probably John specifically, who's gonna be very upset with me in my review of this movie. This is the third time I've watched this, okay? And this is the second time it's actually counted, because the first time I saw it in theaters, and it was the last day of my 3-day binge before I went to rehab for drinking. So I can't count that one because I was blasted and I was like, fuck this movie sucks. So I watched it again after I got out and had a clear mind, and I was like, okay, it's fine. Like, I think it's a good movie at its core. I'm not sold on a bunch of things. And then I watched it again and I was like, nope. So I am not a fan of this, and well, we'll get into that, into why. Like I told you, I have a bunch of problems with the movie that I don't know if they're necessarily valid or if I'm nitpicking, so maybe we'll get to the bottom of that. And you said you also had something that is either considered a hot take or wildly inaccurate, I believe.
Yeah, or wildly inaccurate, yeah.
So that's my history with this movie. It's a very strange history. This is Cory's first viewing, so he has no history. But I mean, even if you haven't seen this movie, it is something that was marketed to holy hell. And the hype behind this movie was like, I'm trying to think of another movie that was hyped up as much as Longlegs. I don't know. I got as hyped up for Longlegs as I did for Hereditary, but Hereditary actually fucking delivered on every single level, to where this... Oz Perkins knows how to market a movie, or whoever is the marketing team behind him or whatever, or Neon, whoever's doing the marketing for Osgood Perkins movies knows how to market a movie. And Osgood Osgood Perkins, as we will get into, is extremely inconsistent in my opinion. It's going to be a lot of wild things I have to say that I guess this is the time to do it. So that's the history with this movie. I don't want to get into too much more because then we'll just tangent right into everything. So we will get to Longlegs here in just a second. But before we do that, we got to do this. We got to do What Did Jason Hill Make Me Watch? The second to last one of the year. And we actually have something fun planned for the last one where, well, you'll just see.
Jason's going to make you watch a movie at gunpoint live.
He's going to make me watch a movie that he made. This is another Cabin in the Woods movie from 2024, something that totally eluded me last year. Hadn't even heard of this one. The summary: in this tongue-in-cheek spoof, horror-savvy characters are trapped in yet another cabin in the woods where they are forced to navigate murder and red herrings to uncover who will stop at nothing for their twisted happily ever after. It's a fun setup, right? And here we go. You know me, text on screen. I love this. The text on screen in the beginning says, it's a quote, and it says, "A successful marriage requires falling in love many times and never getting murdered at your own wedding." And then they say who that's from, and it's from someone called Mignon McLaughlin, who is a real person. She was born in 1913 and died in 1983. But the quote is actually not that. It is, a successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always with the same person. Are you allowed to quote someone but misquote them? Isn't that like slander or something? Like, what is that?
I mean,
I don't know if that's allowed. I mean, she's dead, so it's okay. Like, I don't know. Like, where is that a gray area?
Well, I mean, it probably falls under some like creative loopholes, because like it's like anybody that goes on SNL and does an impression of anybody else, technically they are like quoting them because they are pretending to be them and speaking.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know.
So I thought that was funny that they quoted someone but changed the quote. Anyways, within the first 5
well, did they represent anything in the movie to be true before that?
No, that was the first thing that popped on screen was that.
Yeah, so then all they're doing is writing text and putting.
I just thought it was funny that they tied it to a real person.
So it's the same thing now as doing you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky.
Michael Scott.
Yeah.
All right.
Same thing.
Well, if you couldn't tell by the title, within the first 5 minutes, the movie's so self-aware. I couldn't help but laugh. Something funny, though, I love when captions aren't correct, because one of the guys stops at the cabin and pops his hood because his car is smoking. And what he says is, do you think they have a AAA out here? But the captions say, do you think they have Chipotle out here? And I was like, that's not
even close.
That's not the same thing. There's a lot of solid practical effects. I think there was one use of CG, fun twists, it's great comedy. It's just a doofy, silly movie. I think it's also like 77 minutes. So
barely breaking the feature.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. There's not much I can say about this movie just because you know what you're going to get into with the title like that. And if you don't like goofy, stupid, just ridiculous, over-the-top humor, then it's probably not for you. I had a really fun time with it. It did kind of lose some steam in the middle a bit, but then the ending, I was like, oh, they kind of they surprised me with the ending. So that's all I'm going to say about it. It's got a 2.7 out of 5. Jason gave it a 2.5 out of 5. His review is just walked away feeling a bit unsatisfied. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Like, it was fun, but it wasn't anything that I necessarily thought was great. It was just, it's a good mindless movie, just to put on and be like, I need to laugh. This is the movie for you. It is streaming on Tubi. I recommend it if you want to have just like I said, a silly fun time. So what do you have to say about it, Jason?
Jason says, check it out. You'll probably hate it.
Oh, you'll probably hate it.
Was that Nick Cage?
I had trying to. It ended up being a little Jennifer Coolidge, though.
Yeah. Oh, you'll probably. I can't even do Jennifer Coolidge because I'm laughing.
You'll probably
makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
All right. So this is the last episode we're going to be talking about the Oscars, because obviously the 2025 ones have not happened yet. They happen in March. So let's talk about highest grossing movies and Oscar winners. Highest grossing movie of 2024 is Inside Out, bringing in $1.69 million, beating out Deadpool and Wolverine by about $300 million, which is kind of crazy. Highest grossing horror movie was Alien Romulus at $350.9 million.
We contributed to that.
We did. This was the 97th Academy Awards presented on Monday, March 2nd, 2025, honoring movies released in 2024. Best actor goes to Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. Actor in a supporting role, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. Best actress goes to Mikey Madison for Honora. Completely not happy that Demi Moore didn't win, and way more deserving in my opinion. Actress in a supporting role goes to Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez, which was one of the fucking silliest movies to win anything. Cinematography. Now, I don't know if this guy's name is Lol, but it's literally LOL Crawley, so I guess Lol Crawley for The Brutalist. Director Sean Baker, Honora. Musical score, Daniel Bloomberg for The Brutalist, and Best Picture. Honora. I don't typically get mad at Oscar winners. You know, like I'll see the options and sometimes I'm like, yeah, I get why this won. I don't fucking understand why this won. And I'm pretty sure this is the year where they were like, all right, we have to start watching. You can't just fucking blindly vote, because this movie, in my opinion, is not deserving, especially over the substance, especially over the other movies that I had pulled up that are now gone. There they are. So Wicked, I mean, I liked it, but I don't know about Oscar-winning substance. Absolutely. Never heard of Nickel Boys. Never heard of I'm Still Here. Amelia Perez had no business being on Best Picture. Fucking Dune Part 2. This Dune Part 2 losing to Anora is fucking baffling to me. And I never saw The Brutalist, but I mean, obviously it was very good if it got all these nominations. I don't know, man. This movie, Sean Baker, as I told you before we started recording, he did a movie called The Florida Project, a movie that I just detest. It is 2 hours of terrible people doing terrible things, except for Willem Dafoe. He's the only silver lining in that movie. And these kids who are just absolutely terrible. If they were in horror movies, if this was a horror movie, I'd be rooting for all of them to die because they were so terrible. And I didn't realize that until about halfway through when I looked at Sean Baker. I was like, oh, this is probably why I don't like Anora, because it's kind of the same thing. But IMDb summary is a young sex worker from Brooklyn gets her chance at a Cinderella story when she meets and impulsively marries the son of an oligarch. Once the news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as his parents set out to get the marriage annulled. I mean, you're introduced to Mikey Madsen's character with her butt-ass naked giving a lap dance, and they give no substance to her character. They give no information about her, who she is, what she wants to be, what her dreams are, nothing. And I don't understand. It's just hard for me to wrap my head around movies that can win, because or that win the Oscars, because like I said, most of this movie is people screaming. It's just screaming. Everyone's fighting. Everyone's arguing. And it's just after a while, it makes me overstimulated, because I get overstimulated with screaming and yelling. And it's just a constant stream of people doing that for, I'd say, 75% of the movie. The only time that it didn't happen was maybe 20-30 minutes in the first act and then like 20 minutes at the end. So most of the movie is just people running around screaming and yelling, and there's nothing there. I mean, for 30 minutes of this movie, they're looking for this kid. They're going around, and it's just shot after shot of car ride. Have you seen this kid? Car ride. Like, there's nothing to this movie. There's nothing that brought me in. The cinematography, I'd say, was pretty great. I mean, Mikey Madsen had a good performance for sure, and there was a lot of strong performances there. But again, 90% of the time, everyone's just screaming, and I don't feel like that's a good way to convey emotion, is just by having people yell over each other. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. I didn't even take notes on it because I was just so irritated that I had to watch it. And and a lot of it's in Russian, which is fine. So there's subtitles, because there were plenty of times where I was like, I just want to listen to this at this point, because nothing on screen I need to see. So I was just gonna take notes on my phone. But I'm like, oh no, I have to actually keep my eyes glued to the screen because I have to read subtitles. I don't know. This is clearly a movie not for me. If you like The Florida Project, you will like this. Same director, it's got the same kind of tone, but it doesn't give you anything. It tells me a story about people that I don't fucking care about, because everybody in this movie is a terrible person, except for one person, Igor. Igor is the only saint in this movie. Everyone else is a literal piece of shit. It's like, how am I supposed to connect with any of these people? It's clearly a movie made by a man for the male gaze. That's all it is. And I'll stop my rant there.
Fair enough.
I hope I got my point across. If you'd like to watch it, it is on Hulu. It's got a 3.8 out of 5. My review is, I don't fucking know. Like, I couldn't even think of a funny review because my brain was just so flabbergasted. But I don't know, something along the lines of, not everyone needs to scream to get their point across. Like, people can have normal conversations at a regular level. So maybe try that. Anyways, enough of that. Thank God this is over. I don't have to do this anymore. No more Oscar winners. I'm going to take a break from Oscar winners for quite some time. And let's get on to the IMDb Roundup. Whip crack. This is Longlegs from 2024. I almost said 2004. Wow. Released on July 12th of that year in the U.S. Rated R for bloody violence, disturbing images, and some language. Now, this is where I don't understand this. No sex and nudity, sure. Severe violence and gore? Really? Like, really?
So
There wasn't that much.
if I remember correctly, anytime that there is a certain level of gun violence that happens, I think the severe violence marker has to be added.
I mean, there was a guy that was shot in the head in the first 5 minutes. So, okay.
Yeah,
Maybe that's it.
There's like a lot of gun violence in this movie.
That's
like,
true.
Comparatively to other things, there's a lot of gun violence.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. Moderate profanity, mild alcohol, drugs, and smoking, and severe frightening and intense scenes. Coming in at a runtime of, coming in at an hour and 41 minutes, listed as a crime, horror, mystery thriller, directed by Osgood Perkins, who also did The Blackcoat's Daughter, Gretel and Hansel and the Monkey. Also written by the same man, he writes everything he directs. Composed by Elvis Perkins, I assume that's his brother, who also composed The Blackcoat's Daughter and I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. Cinematography by Andres Orochi, who really only does short films, but he did do a music video for Major Lazer, so that's fun. Edited by Graham Fortin, who also edited The Monkey and the Keeper, Just Keeper, and then Greg Ng. It's just Greg Ng, so I guess Greg Ng, who also edited The Monkey and Keeper, starring Micah Monroe as Agent Lee Harker, who is also in It Follows as Jay Height, Nicolas Cage as Longlegs, and I'm not explaining who he is, Blair Underwood as Agent Carter, who was also in Deep Impact as Mark Simon, Alicia Witt as Ruth Harker, who was in Dune 1984 as Aaliyah, and Michelle Choi Lee as Agent Browning, who primarily does a lot of television and has done a variety of shows. Estimated budget of $10 million, grossing $128 million, which is a fucking home run. Filmed in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. You can also watch this on Hulu too. Weird double feature of Honora and this, but go for it. Movies that came out around the same time, we have Inside Out 2, A Quiet Place Day 1, Despicable Me 4, Maxine, Kinds of Kindness, Oddity, Twisters, Deadpool and Wolverine, Harold and the Purple Crayon, Borderlands Cuckoo, and Alien Romulus. IMDb summary: in pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. This is Longlegs.
Is it scary being an FBI agent?
The letter was left with the bodies. We have 10 letters like it over the past 30 years. And all of them signed with one word: Longlegs.
He'll kill. And kill again.
There she is.
You could have been nice with me, but you didn't.
Put the gun down!
And now that has led to all of this.
So, Cory, overall thoughts on Longlegs?
My overall thoughts is going to be super quick on this because we're going to get into the details of it as we go. I'm so torn on this movie. Like, there are so many things about this movie that I'm like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then there are so many things in this movie where I'm like, why? Why did you do this?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Was that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Overall thoughts for me, I'm not gonna. My overall thought is kind of a hot take, and I really want to save that. I don't know. I just think this movie was quite overhyped for the end product that we got. Although there are strong performances, a very unique aesthetic that Osgood Perkins is incredible at. This movie, much like the Honora, just kind of lacks any full substance to me and I have so many questions. And again, I don't know if they are valid or not, but we will get to the bottom of that very soon. It just did not work for me. And like I said, 3 times I've watched this movie. I'm only going to count 2, but 3 times I've tried this movie. And so I'm like, at this point, I don't think it's me. I'm pretty sure it's just the movie. It's not working for me in particular. So
that's very, very likely.
Yeah. Now, this movie also begins with text on screen. And let me tell you, I hated it. I did not like this text on screen because, like, it's a quote or music lyrics that I have no way to decipher. Because it's before the movie starts, and then I completely forgot about it after it vanished. So it's like that did nothing for me. And then even the cold open gave me absolutely nothing. And with the trailer being so ambiguous, I needed something to be reeled in or have my interest piqued in some sort of cold open or setup. I got nothing. I was like, okay, this is fine, I guess. And then they also said the name of the movie before the title card, which irritated the fuck out of me. Usually I'm like, oh, they said the name of the movie. But the first line out of Nick Cage's mouth is like, I brought my long legs today. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, it's too early for that shit. It's too early. I don't know. What did you think of the very brief cold open, which also was cold outside too? So
yeah, the whole text on screen thing, I was like, what? And I sat there for a second, and it honestly took away from the cold open because I was still sitting there trying to figure out what the purpose, like what the theme of the text on screen was. And outside of it being the fucking end credits song,
right?
I don't know.
Is that how we're tying the movie to? Yes, T-Rex is an artist that I didn't know. I saw T-Rex and I was like, is that a person? Are we quoting a dinosaur? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
And see, the thing is, I knew the song. I didn't know the band was called T-Rex.
Right. Same. Yeah. I knew the song. I was like, oh, okay. Cause it said, I had subtitles on. It said playing, T-Rex, whatever. I was like, oh, okay. I assume, I guess that's what the quote was. But I had to watch a movie review on this just to see if I missed anything. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, the opening title card. I forgot all about that. So,
but when I was able to focus on the cold open, I do enjoy a cold open that really sets up the mystery.
Right.
And one thing that the cold open does really well, aside from being one of the goofiest cold opens I've ever seen,
hands down,
it does really unfortunately, it really sets the tone for the rest of the movie.
Right.
And it sets the tone really well. Like, the tone of what you're getting on that one interaction is how it's going to be for the rest of the movie.
Correct.
Now, if you don't like that,
right,
you're fucked.
And that's why I think that's exactly why I don't like the movie, because that opening, and I was like, I expected it to be weird, but what the fuck? Like, what's happening in this movie? So that's entirely possible why I didn't like it.
Let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Nick Cage plus those prosthetics, the most unsettling thing I have ever laid my eyeballs upon.
Yeah, and then he speaks, and I'm like, it all goes away. I'm like, it all goes away. Yeah, this is one of the very few instances. Actually, I was thinking about it. I can't think of a time that I don't like Nick Cage in a movie. This is the only time where I do not like his performance at all. I was thinking back on all the Nick Cage movies that I've personally seen. Now, I haven't seen all of them, and I'm like, even in the movies like Moonstruck, I didn't really like Moonstruck, but I liked him. I thought he was great. So I think this might be the only movie where I did not like his performance. He was not selling me. I didn't feel like he was right for it at all. And again, I love Nick Cage, huge fan. So that was very strange for me to not like him. And I got excited when I was like, Nick Cage playing this weird, ambiguous, like, killer? Sure, that sounds great. So here we are.
See, and I liked Nick Cage for the role. I just feel like he had to have been the most difficult person, because there was no way anybody on the crew gave him direction to do what he did.
Right.
They put him in prosthetics and said, do you.
Right.
Do your Nick Cage thing, and whatever you put on film, that's what we're gonna use.
I feel like it had to have been that, because I remember when I saw he was going to be in the Renfield, the vampire movie. And while I was excited for it, I was also very hesitant, because I'm like, oh, I don't know. I feel like he can do it, and I saw the look of him like a back behind the scenes photo before the movie released, and I was like, oh, he looks great. But I was like, this is going to be hit or miss, and I loved him in that. I thought he was perfect.
Yeah, and he fucking killed.
Yeah, he killed as Dracula, and I think that's why I got so excited for Longlegs, because Renfield was 2023, Longlegs was the year after. I was like, okay, he can play Dracula. Like, this fucking guy can do anything. And I'm not saying his performance was bad. Really, it was the voice for me. Honestly, the voice. Every time he opened his mouth, I cringed. I was like, this is not working for me.
And the voice was fine, except for he wasn't saying comprehensible things.
Right.
Like, if they gave him spooky-ooky lines with that voice, would have been killer.
Yeah.
But when you take on this falsetto and you start talking about Mr. Downstairs,
yeah,
it starts sounding like that Skittles berries and cream commercial.
Yeah, berries and cream. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you what worked for me, because I have one thing that worked for me. Micah Monroe, she was spectacular. Micah Monroe and Blair Underwood. Both of them together, I think, were fantastic at portraying their roles. But outside of that, let me back up there too. Osgood Perkins' aesthetic I really liked as well. The cinematography is great. I did like the cutbacks to, I think it was 8mm, that was square. I liked the visual representation of the movie itself, and the score was great as well. But with that, a lot of his shots, and I noticed this in Keeper, which I started looking out for in more of his movies. In Keeper, nearly every single still shot has some sort of zoom going on, whether it's minute or you can noticeable. And that's the same.
Other thing that he does on that same token, and I think he does your thing to make my thing make sense. He throws all established cinematography rules out the window.
Oh.
One of the things that I learned in both TV production and photography
Headroom.
in high school and college. Well, yes, headroom. But the rule of thirds, you never put your subject in the middle of the frame. And you know what Osgood Perkins does in fucking every goddamn movie? Everything that he wants you to look at is dead fucking middle of the frame. And then it's perfect. It's as perfectly symmetrical as he can get on either side.
Yeah.
So that it can be viewed mirrored if you needed it to.
And I understand the rule of thirds for sure, but I don't think it's necessary in every shot. And I actually just saw something about how Kubrick does not do that in The Shining a lot of the times, where a lot of the leading lines, like if they're in a room and all the leading lines go to a single point and it's a very wide shot of characters, I think it's perfectly fine to put things in the center of the frame, but not in every shot. Obviously, there are some times where the rule of thirds you have to use.
I will say no, 100% not in every shot, but like in still shots, totally fine. Like if you're transferring to another camera shot and it's a still shot and you got your one person there, sure. But I don't need to follow for an entire 50 yards a moving shot behind someone's head.
Oh God, yeah.
Or in the middle of the back seat of a car. Like when action is happening, I need my shit on the side so as it's moving, I can visualize everything that's going on, not staring at the back of this fucking character's head.
And was it me, or was there like 4 different shots of them driving up to the Harker's house with the same fucking camera angle? I swear.
There were at least 3.
Okay, at least 3. And yeah, that one shot of them, you follow Carter and Harker where they find that doll, and it's just this following shot for about a minute, and you're like, this is the most unnecessary shot of the movie. But like, again, so for the most part, his cinematography, his style, his choices I like. But then again, like I said, coming with that, there is some baggage where I'm like, I don't feel every shot needs to be zoomed in or every shot needs to be centered.
So are we doing spoils for this one?
Oh, of course. Yeah, always.
Okay. So Jessica actually came up with a pretty good theory as to why there is so much follow behind camera work.
Okay.
Because I counted 3 times, it's probably more, you see a Baphomet-like shadow.
10 times.
10 times? Jesus Christ.
10.
I only caught 4. Jessica's thing was, well, what if it's the demon following them around and that's your perspective?
That makes the most sense because...
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that takes a lot of the other weirdness out of the movie. So, I mean, it makes sense. It's too good of a theory.
Well, it does make sense because this demonic entity was, it was introduced to her when she was 9, and it kind of has been following her. I wouldn't say following her whole life, but the first time you see the Baphomet-like creature is when she first gets the case files from Carter. When she's sitting there, she's in Carter's office, and she's got the files, and it's a dead center shot of her. To the left by the American flag, there's the first instance of the creature. The second time is very clear. It's when she goes outside, and you can see Longlegs in the distance, and there's a giant Baphomet creature behind her. Another one that I don't know if a lot of people might have missed, but when she gets that call from her mom after she gets the note from Longlegs in the left door frame, he appears there.
So that's the one that we first noticed.
Okay, so that's 3. Then in the library, there's like, it's like a shot of all the bookcase or the bookshelves, and then at the end, on the outside of the window, there's another one there. Of course, the one in Longlegs' basement, that one's very clear. I mean, that one's dead.
Oh, yeah.
That one's dead center in the frame. There's also one really quickly when she sees that bug come out of her mom's house. It is by the door on her right. Then we have when she's a child and the demon's in her doorway on the left-hand side. And I think there's 2 more here. There's 2 more. Another obvious one I think is probably the one that you caught is when she goes out, when her mom goes outside to shoot that agent twice, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's just right there in the center.
I will tell you what, because it's happened in a few movies recently. One of my new favorite scares, because every time it's done, every different way it's done, it always sends that chill from like the middle of my neck through my shoulders and down into my back.
Damn.
Where you get a shot of a person in a car, and then from like off in the corner, you see that figure, and then the figure just moves around the car and it does something spooky. Every single time I'm like, oh, it is the one scare that I've learned recently will get the same visceral reaction every time. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it is such a good scare tactic for me.
I love
and they do it really fucking good in this movie because they make that woman fucking float.
Yeah, it feels like she's on some sort of just like dolly tracks and they're just pulling. Yeah. But the funny I don't want to ruin this scene for you, but my thought process during that, because it is a great scare and it is horrifying because she obviously gets her head blown off with that double barrel shotgun and then going around to the other side to shoot her again, even though she's fucking definitely dead. But as that was playing, after it played out, I was like, what? Okay, I need to see the mom's actions inside of the house because the car pulls up. Her mom is, I guess, watching and waiting for them, sees Harker get out of the car, runs to grab her shotgun that's just readily available and loaded, and somehow sneaks out the back of the house and around the back of their car. And the fucking detective doesn't see that in the rearview mirror or doesn't hear her walking up to the window. Like, this is some Jason Voorhees level shit here.
Well, I think that's what the floating is supposed to represent. Is she's getting she's getting the benefit of the demonic power for the first time.
Oh, true. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of what I got with it. No, because I totally was like,
what do you just not have? So quick? What do you just not have rear view mirrors? Because that's also prevalent in a scene with Longlegs, but they don't fucking establish any of this. They don't say anything. But when Harker goes outside because she sees someone, and it's obviously Longlegs in the distance with a demonic figure behind him, and then all of a sudden in the next shot, it's her with her house in the background. Fucking Longlegs is just inside dropping off a card, and I'm like, what does he have? Teleportation powers? They don't establish any of this shit. It's just, or maybe the demon was fucking making a shadow of, I don't know. It's just, they don't explain enough for me to know what actually is happening or what kind of powers he has or how he even fucking got them. They don't explain any of it.
See, and this, when we get to the hot take portion, this is where some of my hot take stuff comes in.
Okay. So that's pretty much all that worked for me. Micah Monroe, Blair Underwood, cinematography and the style. That's it. That's all I have. What about this worked for you?
So aside from every single shot ever in this movie being a symmetrical OCD nightmare.
See, and I love that because I'm like, everything's perfect.
I really enjoyed the camera work. There were a couple camera tricks that they do, and it's literally just a little like dashing, like the one scene where Lee Harker, she's like stumbling upon something and the camera is like panning up, but it's panning up inverted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a good.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
That was a good one.
Basically every outdoor shot, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Because my second problem with the camera is all the color grading. Micah Monroe is not that color in real life. She is not a Greek woman.
Yeah, she does look wildly tan in this movie.
Yeah, everybody looks way too tan. Everything has like a burnt orange hue.
Yeah.
Everything is like
the finger has come up. Hold on a second. Hold on.
All hail Bill Clinton.
And not even just him, but Nixon too. There
was only one picture of Nixon.
I know, but they're using these presidents to establish like what era we're in. Like you can do that in so many other ways.
Because I was about to say everything being like fucking wood paneled is such a sign of the times that they're trying to do.
Right.
But then the color grading makes it not look right. But like 18 different camera shots with Bill Clinton in the background.
Like, I mean, he has to like sign off on that, right? Can you just use his picture?
Yeah, no, that's fucking public ass domain. That was a presidential photo.
Yeah, that's true.
That belongs to America, baby.
Okay. I was gonna say, did he have to give permission to use his likeness?
And even though Nick Cage's character was so completely unhinged in not a good way, I enjoyed every character interaction that happened on the screen, because you've got Blair Underwood and Micah Monroe's characters who act like they are not even in the same room together. You've got Nick Cage's character who acts like no one else is around him. Then you've got Ruth Harker, who I can't remember her actual name, but the Ruth Harker character who
is on the fucking moon. Like, where are you?
I can only describe as if Xanax was a person. And all the interactions are just so much fun because none of them should be acting together.
Right. None of them feel like they belong in the same room.
It's so much fun. Every moment that was considered a horror moment, I was like, oh man, that was fucking good.
Yeah.
Like every scare that they do, I'm like, all right, that was effective. That was well crafted. You're saving yourself here.
Right.
But at the same time, like there were so many like stylistic choices that I'm like, this is a bad idea to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
And why is this character doing this way? Okay, you say it's because in a throwaway line she's half psychic, but she never claims to be that. They just did some type of fucking Ghostbusters ass test and they're like, oh, that's good.
Done. And that's my first that is my first complaint, because it's established also they split this movie into 3 parts. It's a fucking 95-minute movie without credits. We don't need to split this into 3 parts. So they established that she has some form of psychic feelings, but just so happens to be in the correct neighborhood to know where the killer is, and then they never go back to those psychic feelings again. If you're half psychic, you think you'd be able to find this killer without him kind of helping you, because in a weird way, Longlegs helps her with like the note and the card and like points her in the right direction. So it's like, is she psychic? Is she not psychic? That's my biggest thing. Why the fuck did the guy in the beginning shoot Fisk in the head and then just give up to Micah Monroe's character? What was the point of that? That made no sense to me. Why are you going to shoot one and not save the other one outside of the fact to establish that she has these psychic abilities? Made no fucking sense to me whatsoever.
So my only rationale for that, because I was not thinking the exact same thing, but I'm like, I mean, if you're going to get in a shootout, get in a shootout.
Yeah, why are you stopping at the one? I mean, maybe because he didn't know there was 2. That's possible. But
yeah, my whole thing was because the story said so, and
right.
that was the propelling thing to get her back into the story.
Correct.
That's it.
That's I think my biggest overall issue is there are too many convenient plot points that the movie hinges on entirely. So another big thing that is kind of a glaring issue to me from a police procedural side is that Carter knows all of the victims' families have daughters with birthdays around the 14th of any given month. Why would you not comb through birth records of the area? It seems like it's a small town. See who was born around the 14th, who might be in danger. Maybe start going and knocking on some doors. They were already knocking on doors in the beginning, but no, they rely on this half-psychic person to figure out the case. Why wouldn't we do the police side of that? I mean, birth records aren't that hard to obtain, and I don't know. So that just irritated me. I was like, why are we... And it's something they didn't solve for like 30 years or something like that. Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
So it's like in 30 years, we haven't once decided to maybe go check birth records, maybe see if there's like a 9-year-old, because they're all young girls, like between 8 and 10 or something like that. We didn't want to do that. I don't know. I don't know if that's a actual problem with the movie or if I'm just being nitpicky. I don't know.
Yeah, because I am still hazy. Is Blair Underwood's character, is he local police or is he also FBI? Because I thought he was local police and she was being brought on as the FBI. And because they had the FBI there, they now had the manpower to go out and do the knock, show the picture, yada, yada.
I don't know, but there's a room full of people in FBI uniforms, I thought at one point. Which seemed like a lot of FBI agents.
But you never see him in an FBI jacket.
Oh, God damn it. Now and now I don't and I wasn't paying attention to that because it's not something I was looking for. I don't think so. I think he's always in suits. So, but like even still, why is the FBI getting involved on this 30 years into all these murders? They should be involved after like a couple of instances, you would think. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if these are real issues with the movie. These are just questions that I had. Something else, this just pissed me off, and I'm wondering if it irritated you. So Lee gets all of these dates, writes them down on a sheet of paper in order, right? Then consults with this random demonology book and just happens to come across this upside down triangle. So she decides to test out some theory where she folds the paper in half, and all of the dates that she's circled on this paper make an upside down triangle. What the fuck does that has nothing to do with anything. You could have put those numbers in any fucking order. Like, what do you mean?
So, okay, first off, yes, because that's what numerology is all based off of. You put the numbers where you want them to make the things work. But she didn't know that she was putting them where they worked until she just randomly decided to do a triangle. If she put them in any other order, that wouldn't have worked. Well, so she got to the triangle after she got the note from Longlegs. The note from Longlegs made a reference to the one passage in the Book of Revelation. In the Book of Revelation, it talks about the seven-headed dragon, 10 crowns, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So there is a name for that beast because it's supposed to be Satan.
Okay.
So what she does is she sees that it's referencing Satan. So she goes and she looks up the demonic seal of Satan.
Okay. I know, and but they never go back to that. Even Carter's like, what am I fucking supposed to do with this?
But that's what the triangle is it's part of the seal. That's how she figures out it's something occult.
No. I know what this I know what the symbol is, but I'm just saying it's like she just comes across this page of an upside down triangle. It happens to match what she's done on her thing, and it's like, oh well, now I know it's about Satan. That is so fucking loose to me.
Yeah,
to figure out that this is like about Satan. Like I knew it was a satanic symbol for sure.
So okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into this now because I've had 2 times where this would be relevant. So I know how to fix this movie. Jessica and I had like a 15-minute conversation about this.
Okay,
and all you got to do is get rid of one thing, and the one thing you can choose one of at least two things. If they get rid of the Satan aspect and it's just Longlegs and the creepy magic dolls.
Yeah.
Movie works.
So much
perfect.
Better.
It's great. If you get rid of the dolls and just leave the Satan aspect, movie works. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Because you don't necessarily have to explain overall Satan powers. It's hookity spookity Satan powers,
right?
Whatever. But when you say, oh, here's a specific thing through which the Satan powers work, you have to explain why.
Okay, then that perfectly segues into one of my things, because there's no explanation for why Longlegs is doing any of this. He is somehow transporting one of Satan's fucking Horcruxes into each of these dolls, which somehow always possess the dad, and kills everyone in the family. Then they kill himself, and then so we have the who and we have the how, but there's no fucking why. And with a movie that's this ambiguous and mysterious, the why feels very fucking important. And it also seems like a tremendous amount of work for Satan. He has to wait for Longlegs to make this doll of someone, hope that they even let him inside their fucking house, and then hope that they accept or keep the gift. Fucking, that didn't even make sense to me. Accept and keep are the same thing. And then, you know, if they accept it, then they bow down. If they destroy it, then whatever. It's like, that is so much fucking work for Satan. Satan doesn't need to do all this work to fucking possess people.
And it's not even the doll. The doll itself is the Trojan horse
Yeah.
for the little ball
Horcrux.
of evil.
Yeah, the Horcrux.
The ball of yeah.
That's what I'm calling it.
It's fucking stupid.
It doesn't make any sense. So because Ruth says that he puts a part of himself in there, and then I guess a part which I guess contains some of Satan. But again, they don't establish any like his satanic ties. All they say about Longlegs is that he's a Satanist. He worships Satan. Okay, there's a difference between worshiping Satan and then like having Satan's fucking ethereal power or whatever. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. So this whole doll thing is a cool idea. But at the same time, when you bring in the Satan aspect, and that's one of the biggest things too, the whole Satan thing, not working for me here. Blackcoat's Daughter did this so much better with Satan and possession, and this movie has just weird idea where it involves these dolls. And like, the thing I don't understand is, does he go spy on these families, get pictures of the daughter to make a doll that looks like them? Because all the dolls look like them. They don't even establish that either. Like, what happens if you go through all the process of making this doll and that family doesn't even let you in? They're like, no, I'm good. I don't want something from the church. I'll pass. Like, there's a lot of questions that I have with this fucking movie. Goodness, there's so much other shit. I'll just rapid fire a couple things off. The psychiatric hospital not requiring IDs for visitors is fucking wild, and the fact that Carter and Harker don't even ask anyone who was working that day if the guy that came in had any definable features, because Longlegs is not subtle. He's very, you can tell who he is. I already said the thing about the presidents. Harker shouldn't be on the case after a certain point because it involves her mom. She should have been taken off that. Conflict of interest, that pissed me off. And then, why does Longlegs kill himself? Because his work is done? Okay, why did he even bother being brought in if he just smashes his face on the table and kills himself? It's just so many fucking questions with this. So those are all my quick, like, rapid fire things. And then I think the other big one I had after all the Satan shit was the movie hinges on that trunk that Lee took home, which happens to be the place where she kept the photo of Longlegs. The entire movie relies on Lee finding this photograph in her mom's fucking hoarding nest of a home. She didn't even know she was looking for it. She just happened to bring that home and then gives it over to Carter and is like, are you willing to start a manhunt over this? Yes. And then they start a manhunt over a fucking picture, and then they just find him in the middle of the road at a bus stop. No explanation for how they track this guy down. They haven't found.
I think he called himself in.
But they don't say that. They don't.
They don't.
They don't establish that.
They want you to guess the implications of this movie so much. Like, I'm not entirely convinced that this isn't just a version of a Satanic Panic movie.
Right. There's just so many questions. They don't explain so much, but then they over-explain so much, especially at the end of the movie when I've already understood the fact of what Ruth is doing and why she's doing it, and then she tells us what, like, the whole story again, and I'm like, I just put this together. Why are you holding my hand right now? You're so mysterious and so ambiguous. By the time that she gets to Carter's house, we're like, okay, I understand what's going on here, and then she narrates everything. I'm like, why are you double explaining now? It doesn't fucking make any sense.
Up until I watched this movie, just because, like, I try not to, like, interact with too much, like, movie media, because then you just get into a hole of fake news and trailers that I don't need to see. I never knew what Osgood Perkins looked like. I looked at his IMDb photo. And the answer to why Ruth is explaining everything is Osgood Perkins thinks we're stupid. I get the feeling by the look on his face that he thinks his viewers are stupid.
Well, fun fact about Osgood Perkins, I don't know if you know or how many people do know, but he's actually Anthony Perkins' son, which I find fascinating. Anthony Perkins from Psycho.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, which is fun. 3 more things here, and then I'll shut up about it, because I'm sure people, if people are even still listening after all this hatred towards this movie, it's not even hatred, it's just questions, really. But so randomly near the end of the movie, Harker gets a call telling her where the next murder is taking place. Okay. Who's on the phone? Is that Satan? Is Satan on the phone? Is Satan contacting Lee, or was he trying to get Ruth? Does he know Lee's there and he's trying to... It just feels like the most convenient phone call of all time.
And if it is Satan, what are those long distance charges?
For real. What is the charge from hell to bumfuck Egypt, wherever they are?
Somewhere in Oregon.
And then Ruth says that she's going to continue to do the murders again and again and again and again. But not anymore. Longlegs is dead. Who the fuck are you delivering dolls to? You don't make the dolls. So how are you going to continue to do this? What do you mean? And then lastly, Harker was well aware that Carter was going to go into the kitchen and murder his wife and did fuck all about it. Did absolutely nothing to prevent him from stabbing his wife. Got it.
That's why I think that the doll possesses everybody in the family. Because
because she's way too cool about going to get murdered.
Yeah.
But I mean, but Lee doesn't do anything about it. She's not part of the family. Lee does nothing about it. She even takes it's assumed that she takes the daughter and leaves. She tries to, shoot the doll's head, but her gun empties, and there's no other way to destroy a fucking doll's head that we know of course. So it's weird that she just let them get up and okay.
Speaking of destroying the doll's head, so earlier in the movie, when they take the one doll in to be autopsied, and the guy's like, oh, it's hollow, he's doing the radiogram and whatever, and they're like, there's nothing in it, and we're gonna cut it open later and prove there's nothing in it. All right, cool. So to me, when you split that item is now quote unquote destroyed, right?
Right.
So they never mention anything of when they cut it open of the ball disintegrating into a miasma of black cloud.
Right.
But when they shoot it with the shotgun, it dissipates into a miasma of black cloud. Like, what happens?
Also, something I totally forgot to bring up. What happens to the dolls? Like, are these police investigators seeing all these crime scenes with dolls and just writing them off? Or is someone going back there and picking up all the pieces of this destroyed doll? What happens to the dolls? Where do they go? They can't just sit at a crime scene, because after about 3 of those, you'd be like, this seems to be a trend. Maybe we should look into this more.
Almost like this is the connecting factor of all the cases.
Right. And he wasn't wearing gloves at all when he was doing the doll. Like, when he was making the dolls, their fingerprints would be all over that shit.
Also, that James Gum ass hair, like, that's getting everywhere.
He's not tying it back. He's not wearing a hairnet. Dude, I don't know. I just have so many questions with this movie. It's a movie that keeps me from enjoying the movie. It doesn't even make sense. I don't even think that it like gets in its own way. There's so many questions. So that's all I have. I'm going to stop now, I promise. Hot takes though, boy, do I have a few. This was definitely the most overhyped horror movie of 2024. And maybe even just movie in general for me. It's extremely overhyped. I already said I wasn't a fan of Longlegs, Nick Cage, which is wild because I always love him. And this movie's already been made in the form of Silence of the Lambs and Zodiac, just with Satan. It's like they took Silence of the Lambs and Zodiac, and then we're like, ooh, let's also add Satan to the mix. Because
it's funny you say that, because I was talking to you last night, and I think this movie is way too close in almost every aspect to Incident in a Ghostland.
That too. Which is a very
I'm gonna say it's almost a 1-for-1 ripoff.
All right, well, now I gotta rewatch that.
Like, change the career from author to cop, change the reasoning from Satan to just 2 serial killers.
Yeah.
2 serial killers instead of 1. And she's living in a quote unquote fantasy land to protect herself from what almost happened / did happen to her as a young child. Like, it is, I was sitting there and I was like, man, It's Incident in a Ghostland, but worse.
Interesting. Okay, I remember watching that a while ago, and I remember really enjoying it. So now I'll have to.
We did it on the show.
Yeah, we did it in the early years. All right. So did you say your hot takes already, or did you have?
Yeah, that was my last hot take.
All right. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm never hooked into this movie. Not once. Not hooked at all. I definitely got excited when the guy randomly got shot in the head because that was unexpected. But other than that, there is no point. I was so I was watching this and Gabby comes out and she's like, "You okay?" I'm just so fucking painfully bored with this movie. Oh my God. Are you ever hooked into this movie?
Yes. I felt that as right after they shoot the one FBI guy in the head and it kind of kicks everything off, but because it generated so many questions for me, I was like, well, now I gotta pay attention because obviously they're gonna give me the information that my brain is requesting, and it didn't.
Yeah.
But it continually hooked me with new questions and then let me down when the movie was over and I was like, but you didn't answer my question.
Yeah, not one question. So, I'm not necessarily lost, but I don't know. I'm just weirdly in the middle with this movie. Like, I'm interested to see what's going on, but I have all these questions, and then the movie is over, and I didn't get those answers. So maybe I'm lost at the end. I don't know. What about you? Any particular moment that like fully took you out?
So the in between going from part 2 to part 3,
okay,
before they really start kicking off Ruth's actions and you're kind of figuring the case out as Lee Harker figures the case out. Like you said, because things were just wildly too convenient, it took me out because I was like, all right, well, are we fast tracking to like let's just put a bow on it and fucking end it,
be done with it?
So it was like you said, getting in its own way. It was actively dashing my own expectations of it as I was watching it.
Yep 100%. Horror moment for me is the Fisk getting shot in the head, which is not great, seeing as how that's under 10 minutes in. That was a great horror moment because, again, just was not expecting that at all. What about you?
So I'm really torn between, even though the kills in the POV of the doll are most of them are like off-screen type kills,
right? Because
I'm sure they were like, all right, we can't spend all the budget on kills. We have to make everything else look like halfway decent. But so the POV of the things happening in front of the doll was really cool. But every time you got that like shawl covering of what I am going to assume Satan entering the doll, and you get the fucking creepy yellow slit eyes and the ultra gaunt face. Every time I saw it, I was like, man, that's spooky.
Yeah.
Because you know how I feel about dolls.
Oh, yeah.
And like the life scale, like American Girl style dolls, I'm like, all right. I mean, yeah, that's creepy. I don't like that, but that's not upsetting.
Right.
But then you get the shawl, and it's always a zoom out. Like you were saying, all those static shots zoom in.
Yeah.
This was always a zoom out as the light is fading out of the doll's eyes. And I'm just like, ew. Ew.
Don't like it. My favorite kill was Longlegs.
Oh, yeah. And the only reason that wasn't my horror moment is because I was like, I can't have that be my horror moment and kill.
Well, and
I got to diversify in this movie a little bit because it's going to sound like I don't like this movie.
That's fair. Favorite character for me is Carrie Ann. Kiernan Shipka just demolishes that role, and she's in the movie for 5 fucking minutes. Loved her. Favorite character? You got one. I'm glad Kiernan Shipka was in this movie, or else I wouldn't have a favorite character.
I I really like Blair Underwood's character.
He's good
because he just his line delivery, it sounds like he is annoyed to be there.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh god, another fucking, like, I'm too old for this shit.
But I also love the mom because her escalation from a let's have a creepy conversation on the phone to I am now shotgunning your colleagues.
Yeah.
It's so quick and rapid that it's almost comical.
Yeah. Well, and I think at that point, because at that point she says, he's free now. And when she says he's free, I'm assuming she means Longlegs, but also probably at the same time, Satan. So her escalation happens pretty quick because she's already been close to them. She's been close to them since her daughter was 9 and been involved in this for so long because she was saving her daughter by killing all these other daughters. It's very weird motives here.
Speaking of, I want to bring up one more gripe that I have.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
It really pisses me off that you're going to bring Lee Harker back to her childhood home fairly early in the movie. And the only thing that you're going to give us to tell us that Longlegs has been in the basement the entire fucking time is she goes to do something in the basement, jiggles the handle, and it's locked. And they just leave it at that for like 40 more minutes until you realize that the basement where Longlegs has been is the same basement as Ruth Harker.
Yep.
Like, if they would have given that earlier, then the suspense is like, oh my God, how does she not know?
Right.
But when we don't know either,
it doesn't have the same effect.
You can't reveal things like that. Like, there's a reason why Shyamalan twists work the way they do. It's because they build the entire movie up to it. It's not a throwaway detail. That's a really important plot point.
It's very important.
That you just kind of like, oh,
yada yada. Least favorite character is Longlegs. Sorry, Nick Cage. You're better. I love you and everything else because I know you're listening. What about you?
This is gonna be controversial for you.
Oh yes.
I don't like Lee Harker.
That's fair.
I think.
Wait. Do you not like the character, or do you not like Micah Monroe? Because there's a difference.
No, I don't like the character.
That's fine. I can be okay with that.
Because I know Micah Monroe is a better actor than that. I've seen it.
See, and I really enjoyed her performance as this weird eccentric girl. She was like outside of who was the other? Outside of Ruth, I feel like she was.
So she was talking out of the side of her mouth a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and it looked like, and I get it, she has some type of ultra deep repressed trauma that has shaped her into who she is. But when she's talking to people, 50% of the time, she's not making eye contact, but not even looking in the direction of the person.
Yeah.
Like there's one whole sequence where she's sitting at the desk of Blair Underwood's character, and he is talking to her about what she needs to do. And I apologize for the podcast listeners because you can't see what I'm about to do, but I'm going to do it for Austin and he can dictate to you back. She goes like this, and she is answering his questions looking like down and to the side.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like she is reading her lines.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And because she has such a big mouth, and I guess they wanted to make her sound a specific type of way, they were like, you got to play down your enunciation. So she talked out of the side of her mouth with her mouth like she was in pain.
Oh my God. I didn't notice that, but I always love when you notice the little things like this because it always makes me want to see if I notice it on the next watch. Fuck, you said something about Micah Monroe, and I was gonna. Oh my God, that thought.
She's got a big mouth.
Is it possible that the reason she doesn't look people in the eyes is because of the repressed trauma of possibly seeing those dolls' eyes light up. What about that? Is that...
I mean, it's 100% possible.
But we don't get an answer, and we never will. So.
Exactly. There's no foundation for it.
Right. It's all
the amount of speculation is just too vast.
It's too vast. Okay.
For any of that to
be concrete.
To be anything.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. All right. So if I reviewed horror movies instead of shamelessly plugging my own show, it would be this bitch's birthday is on the 22nd, so mark me down safe. Also, I'm 35, so I'm double safe. Post review stuff here. Scrolling down. No taglines for this movie, which I found interesting, but it totally makes sense. I get it. Trivia, many of Longlegs' encrypted messages contain misspellings and poor grammar after being decoded. This is an homage to the Zodiac Killer, who was also known for coding his messages with typos, which often makes it more difficult to decode. To promote the film, Neon created a phone number, which, if dialed, played a pre-recorded externally to streaming message from Nicolas Cage, which is cool. Goofs, despite the movie being... a fucking petty goof. I love petty goofs. Despite the movie being set in the 1990s, the theme for The Price is Right that can be heard on the TV is the version that has been used since 2007. Fucking shut up, nerd. Shut up, you fucking nerd. Rated 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 3.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, 86% on the tomato meter, 61% audience score. What'd you give this, Corey?
I gave it a 3.5.
Okay. I gave it a 2.5 because, like I said, a lot I appreciate, a lot I don't. I'm going to sit right in the middle with this one. No heart because, again, too many questions. Similar movies according to Letterboxd, we have Sinister, The Silence of the Lambs, Hereditary, Barbarian, and The Ring. Similar movies according to IMDb, we have Talk to Me, Heretic, Barbarian, The Monkey, and Midsommar. Funny reviews if you've got them. I come with my standard 5 locked and loaded, so
I've got 4.
All right, I will run this one here. Let's see. Oh yeah, 2 stars from Astro, which is exactly how I feel. It's like, glad y'all are having fun with this, I guess. That's my exact thoughts.
A 0.5 star and a heart from
What?
Yeah, 0.5 star and a heart from what I can only describe as a spike symbol.
Okay.
Like it's a little spike ball, but it's not an emoji. Don't know how this person typed this. Is Longlegs your imaginary friend hiding in a garage, ho?
That would have been a great twist. 3.5 stars from Teresa Hole. Oh my God. Calling yourself Longlegs as a serial killer is so cunty, low key. Like, what if you went by the big fat juicy booty strangler? The fuck?
The BBL bandit.
The BBL bandit. That's great. Oh my God.
A 0.5 star, no heart from Internet Eye Punker. Slop.
Straight up. 1.5 stars from Owen. I don't really know what I expected, but there was way more Bill Clinton screen time than I was both mentally and physically prepared for. Oh, Christ.
A 5 star and a heart from Six Walek, Mr. Downstairs.
Mr. Downstairs just sounds sexual. 2 stars from Dan Sheehan. He must have had an accomplice, someone people could trust, like a creepy nun delivering unsolicited porcelain dolls to children. Yeah, come inside, please.
And this is probably going to be the hottest take of all.
Oh.
A 5 star and a heart from Olivia. People who didn't like this movie just didn't get it.
Okay.
I got it. That's the problem.
That's it.
I 100% understood everything that was in front of my eyes. It's just that what didn't go on in front of my eyes is what I don't understand.
That's something you can say about Hereditary, because that movie has a lot of layers and a lot to digest. It's not hard to understand what's going on here because they explain
Osgood Perkins is not Ari Aster.
Yeah, they explain it to you twice as to what's going on here. So I don't think it's a matter of not understanding. It's too many questions. 1 star, my favorite review I found from Bim Bim. Get some longer legs and then we'll talk. If you enjoy the show, please rate and review on your favorite podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Slasher, Blue Sky Threads, and YouTube at frightmarespodcast. Our email is stayspooky@outlook.com. You can also follow me personally on Letterboxd at Dr. Proctor. Cory, you are
Frightmare's Cory.
Booyah! Be sure to follow our sister podcast, The Shameless Picture Show, and also check out the Dead-Eyed Millennial podcast as well. Next week, Gabby and I will be doing Weapons from this year, and it will be the there's going to be 2 more episodes after Weapons, but it's the end of the history of horror.
The theme.
Yeah, we have done it. 1 movie a year from 1975 to 2025, and we had to end on Weapons because we've already talked about 28 years later. So, and we're doing Sinners next year. So, the Weapons was the one. So until then, stay tuned and
stay spooky and hail Bill Clinton.